Just giving everybody that wants to leave a chance to leave. Hi, my name is Kap McWhorter. I teach social action here on our campus and do lots of other really random things as well. This is what I like to do when I'm not teaching on the weekends. No, that's not really what I like to do. My wife's the personal trainer in our family, not me. We had to establish very early with my wife as a personal trainer that cannot be a part of our relationship. She did not try to make me work out. It was not good. It was not good for us. But I have this picture up here because I think it represents kind of the way most of you as students, and then probably us as educators as well, can feel. That there is this list of increasing expectations that we've all got to hurdle in order to accomplish some goal. Now the script here that we've talked about a little bit in education is really, really simple. Right? And we could all articulate that. Okay? The script is come to school, work hard so you can. What do you get if you work hard? Good grades. Okay, what do you get if you get good grades? Money. You get to go to college. Okay, and if you get to go to college, what do you get? A degree. And then when you get that degree, what do you get? A good job so that you can make money. Okay. All right, so we run you through basically kindergarten through, you go all the way through college. That's what, 16th grade? All right, so we're looking at 17 plus years in an education system. And the end goal we've given you is money. Now, I'm further out of that system probably than a lot of you guys that are sitting in classrooms 7 hours a day. If I was sitting in a classroom 7 hours a day, and that's what somebody told me would motivate me, if that's what they thought of me, that I'm incapable of really caring about my learning or caring about the world that I live in unless somebody tells me I'm going to get freaking paid, that would tick me off. And what's really sad is even if you buy in, even if you're all in, okay, I'm going to grind it out for 17 years and get all the grade points I can possibly acquire. I'm going to amass a freaking pile of grade points. Grade points that will make all my other classmates, totally insecure. Right? Okay? Even if you could do that, then what? Then you get that money. Okay, great, awesome. Let's pretend that's really the way the script plays out. It doesn't, but let's pretend. Then what? What's the end goal after that? What's sad is to get to overcome this ambiguity because none of us know the answer to that question. That's where our system falls radically short. Is to give you anything beyond the payday. To get mine so I can hook up my family. That's a good thing, being able to provide for family. Okay? We don't mind being able to go get groceries on the 1st and the 15th when I get paid. All right, that's a beautiful thing. Right? Okay? But beyond that, this ambiguity, we're so scared of this as educators. What we tend to do is resort to lesser tactics, which is incentivizing you sitting in our classrooms. It's what Daniel Pink says in his book Drive is the carrot and the stick. Right? And for this guy that's really yoked up and built, that probably works for him, right? A bunch of carrots, like, yes, carrots! But, for me, it probably looked a little more like that. All right? That might be a little more effective. Do you see that? That's the extent of my PowerPoint skills. It took me like 10 minutes to figure out how to make that thing do that. All right. That's probably what it looked like for me. But what should really tick you off, if you have not forfeited the sum total of your passion, is that we have said that you need this. That's dirty. That's pretty dirty. Do you see that? Then some way, we as educators, and I have to own my part in this because this is my house. This is the house that I'm a part of, right? I'm a part of the sales pitch, and I've really radically undersold you as students. And I think when we talk about reform in education, it's going to take forfeiting, incentivizing, and the control that we feel like it gives us over this insecure feeling of not knowing what the end outcome is, and really kind of come back to restoring in our classrooms the most basic part of our humanity. Because this is not really human. I don't think. Just working to get paid kind of alienates us from the part of us that feels really alive. And so we've got to figure out what is it that makes us come fully alive and connect that to the content in our classrooms. So, here I am. All right, that's me. Every once in a while I get a little sun. That's what I look like. I'm usually just pretty pasty. But that's myself and my wife, Wendy. Yes, I'm married way over my head. I get it. All right, that's my son, Knox, Camille, and Max, the little one in my arm. That's us. All right, that is, in sum total, in that picture, that kind of captures what everybody told me I would get if I worked really, really hard. And I did. I got better grades than almost everybody in my high school. It was Cypher High School, Northwest Side, graduated 5th in my class. This is not me bragging, it's me showing you kind of the emptiness of that presentation. Right? I worked as hard as I could because somebody told me if I got really good grades, I'd get a scholarship. I got a scholarship. Okay, I went to Houston Baptist University and made money going to school. So I had enough scholarships, I'd go cut checks and go like to the grocery store, go pay for rent or whatever. By the time I graduated school was a money-making industry for me. All right, that got me a scholarship to grad school. I got a master's degree. And I got a job. And that job paid me well so that I could take vacations with my family. We could stand in rivers with matching t-shirts. And I don't know why we do this. Actually, it's not us. If I'm really honest, it's my mom. Okay, we take a vacation every year with my parents, and my mom loves to have a Christmas card picture. And so she subtly asks us to wear certain things for picture day on vacation, all right, but it's much more forceful than that. If I was the only person not wearing a white t-shirt, Mom would have been pretty upset. But this is the end goal. Somebody told me I could get here, and I did. I was making good money. We could travel. I had a nice house. We had a couple cars. Everything was good, and I kept waiting for the payoff inside of me somewhere. Like everybody said, if you finally get here, you're going to work for 20-something years at going to school and getting your grades and doing everything everybody said would work. And I kept pulling on the arm of that slot machine for 20 years. My arm was cramping up, after 20-something years of going to school. And then kept waiting for that slot machine to hit, and it never came up jackpot. Like, man, I still don't feel satisfied. What's the point? That big question mark earlier was like looming out in front of me. All right, I'd done everything that everybody said was going to do it, and I believed the script. And it rang hollow. At 25 years old, I came in contact with some people who were living a very different life. This is my friend Velma Brito. She's a really, really close friend. And this is a picture of her holding a child in a Kenyan refugee camp. This is very recent. This has been within the last month. This picture was taken. I met them, much further back than that. But she and her husband Eddie work in Africa, and I came to know them through a nonprofit organization that I was working with. I know now because I've done enough relief work. If you look at this right here, you can kind of see. Why am I using the laser pointer when I'm right here? All right, if you look at this child's arm, and then you look at Vilma's thumb, this is her thumb. This isn't a camera trick. You notice it in her thumbs here. You see how her thumb is roughly the size of that child's wrist. I've done enough relief work to know they actually do a bicep circumference or diameter test that will basically tell whether or not a child is stable. And this child is not. That's stark, but it's reality. And so I met a woman and a man in Eddie and Vilma Brito who had basically lived amongst, almost starved with, orphans all over the continent of Africa. And, their script looked way different than mine, and they had not amassed probably a whole lot of grade points. I know they didn't have anything in their bank account, but they were incredibly satisfied. And it challenged me. Really challenged me that these two worlds were so radically inequitable of what I had amassed for myself and what was happening all over my world. Now, this picture, for most of us, although it's stark, we would say, oh man, that sucks. Kid's stark. And then we would change the station, or we would try to like scroll it by on the banner page on our homepage, right? We want to go to the next story. It's uncomfortable. And go back to pretending like injustice doesn't exist. But it came home to me because I knew this woman. This is a friend of mine. And I saw her heartbreak. And I said, it's kind of in this crisis. I amassed all this stuff for myself. I believed the script. And it left me in crisis. Like, what's the freaking point? What are we doing here? If this is what it's about, so I can put on a white t-shirt and do my deal with my family, and we can get ours, we can keep amassing more and more stuff for ourselves, and I keep allowing this to happen, something's really screwed up. And so my wife and I sold what we needed to, and we traveled to Africa. That's Vilma in the back with the headscarf on. We always make fun because Vilma, she always looks like she stepped out of some like really cool like chic catalog. She always looks totally cool. She's got this headscarf on. She probably hasn't like bathed in like 2 weeks. We've been in like the African bush, and she like looks totally cool. I look like I've been run over by a truck. That's me. My wife's taking the picture, and she was struggling, man. It was rough that first trip. This is us walking out in the bush in Mozambique, Africa. We traveled for about 3 days to get to this point, and then we're going to walk for another day through this to find a village totally off the radar screen. And we met some orphans there whose situation was really, really tragic.